We welcome you to Durham, North Carolina. The early start won't keep the fans away. Stanford's final road trip of the regular season brings them to Duke, who is on fire. They've won 13 of their last 14. The former National Player of the Year, Jenny Dalton-Hill. I'm Chucky Kemp. Well, the season rolling on. Just about 20 games left in the regular season. Hard to believe. For these two teams, very evenly matched and trending in the right direction.
They are. Duke sits at second in the standings. Stanford sitting middle of the pack. So for this series right here, we're looking for Stanford to really take a step forward, but both of these teams very evenly matched.
No shortage of star power in this one. For Duke, it comes in the form of a duo, Deanna Jennings and Amina Vega.
Yeah, and when you look at the way that Deanna Jennings has matured in the box, she is giving Duke better production in that leadoff spot in this her senior season. She leaned into swinging away 2 seasons ago, and that has given her more tools to disrupt defenses. Amina Vega sits right behind her in the lineup and has been my favorite second baseman in the ACC since her freshman year. She's been an All-ACC selection every season, a first-team All-American, ACC Defensive Player of the Year, and she leads Duke in extra base hits and batting average for the 2nd year in a row. On the other side of the field, they're facing a tough bat. Taryn Kern, the only transfer ever under Jessica Allister at Stanford, leads the Cardinal in power, average, and run production, and has elevated each of those areas of her game from a year ago by over 100 points. Sitting down in the lineup a little bit to back her up is Kira Chan. Coach Allister says Chan had the numbers last season to be an All-American and is putting those same numbers up this year, hitting over 400. She is second in extra base hits, highest OBP, and is second in most free passes, all behind Kern.
Keep an eye on River Mailer today, who is in the 2 spot. Stanford missing one of their best players in the senior Emily Jones, who was injured in practice on this field yesterday. We'll talk about that as the game goes on, but it is a big miss for them in this very talented lineup, who seems to get better and better every year under Jessica Allister.
And River Mailer has hit in the 2nd spot most of her career, but has had a little bit of a down year since an injury happened at their Louisville series. So with Emily Jones out of the lineup, Mailer comes back up to a very familiar spot.
They will face off with the senior from Port St. Lucie, Florida, Cassidy Curd, who just burst onto the scene as a freshman. She has won a lot of games on this field for Duke. She's 11-2 with a 3.64 ERA this year.
Well, she's had the most innings pitched of her career last season, but that has already stepped up this year with almost 85 innings pitched on the season and about halfway through the year. So they're expecting to see Curd continue to lead from the top.
Curd's numbers in her first 2 seasons were unbelievable. 31 wins, a sub 1.5 ERA. Last year, a 3.5 ERA, which has stayed around that number, but her opponent average has dropped down from a career high last year at about 243. This season just at 211. First pitch of our 3-game series is up high, ball 1 to Taryn Kern.
Well, and no surprise that Curd goes up in the zone for the first pitch of the game. She throws with just a ton of velo, lives confidently at the top of the zone, and then throws that curve to both sides of the plate with a ton of run.
Lefty-lefty matchup against Taryn Kern, 2 seniors who have left their marks on these programs. Taryn Kern, part of 6 seniors on this Stanford roster. 4 of them have played a ton of games, even though Taryn Kern did not begin her career at Stanford, as you mentioned, was the Big Ten Player and Freshman of the Year at Indiana. Hits it into right field, and it's caught by Layla Lamar, the daughter of Duke head coach Marissa Young.
And when you think about the way Kern starts off a game, she likes to hit deeper in counts, but they found that she does better when she attacks earlier. So they're taking advantage of an aggressive swinger, jams her up, gets a nice little out to start the game.
Jessica Allister said it's just impossible to take Taryn Kern out of the leadoff spot because she gets on base all the time. So for Cassidy Curd, a great start. She starts off River Mailer with strike 1.
And we talked a little bit about that injury that happened, hurt her hand when they were playing in the series at Louisville this year. Hasn't really missed a beat, but is playing with a little bit of a banged up hand.
Big swing through that to fall behind 0-2. River Mailer, a senior from Monroe, Washington. An interesting career just from a production standpoint. Has always been productive, but has done it in kind of different ways. Last year hit 11 home runs after not hitting one in her first 2 seasons. And then this year has not hit one as well, but you know the power's there. And Jessica Allister confident that she continues to get back comfortable with that hand injury she sustained. 1-2 from Curd.
When you know that Curd likes to throw up in the zone, you train your eye as a hitter thinking lay off anything above the belt out of the hand, but here Curd continues to attack down in the zone against these lefty hitters.
Naylor has a hit in 10 of her last 12 games. This is into left field, back to Brooklyn Thomas for out number 2. Couple quick ones in the air for Cassidy Curd. You're talking about Cassidy Curd liking to go up in the zone. As a hitter for you, were you let me hunt a space or let me hunt a pitch?
I was a see it, hit it girl that didn't really hunt, just wanted to hit a mistake. Okay. So I think when you look at the way hitter approaches an at-bat, some like to think and some like to analyze and some just like to be athletic at the plate.
And you're an athlete.
Maybe because I'm just not that smart. But when it comes down to how do you attack best in the box, I think what we're seeing with all of the addition of analytics across the country is some athletes need to have a clear mind to execute well.
Ira Chan watches that pitch low for ball 2 to start this at bat. Chan, a senior from San Diego, California. Hit .287 over her first 2 seasons. Over the last 2, she's hit .399 with 14 home runs and 80 RBIs. This is belted into left center field, and that is off the base of the wall. Chan is into second with a double and extends a hit streak to now 7 games.
And we talked about her in the open simply because of the production that she's been able to put in this 3 slot. Stanford typically relies on Emily Jones to be on the base pass with Taryn Kern, and Chan comes up in these RBI situations typically, but when she comes up to the plate, I love the way that she attacks and just looks for those opportunities for extra base hits, does a really good job putting herself in scoring position. Jessica
Allister loves her combo of speed, power, and average, said she's also incredibly emotionally steady. Gives Jade Berry an opportunity in the cleanup spot to give Stanford their first run of the weekend. Berry hitting .342 with runners in scoring position this year.
And there's that pitch that Curd wants to get called a strike, but we have not seen the zone called above the belt at all much around the country this year. And with the elimination of that pitch above the belt, it allows hitters to be a lot more patient, let that ball travel, keep the ball above the belt from swinging. And when that happens, it decreases the size of the zone. And that's why I think we're seeing a huge elevation in terms of batting averages all around the country, because pitchers are being handcuffed by the smaller zone that we're seeing.
And that's coming from a hitter.
I know, and I usually am like, oh, that's amazing. But at the same time, we're also seeing football scores all around the country because of the smaller zone, the hot bats, the analytics. It's all playing out in some really long games and a ton of scoring.
Hitters count here against Curd for Jade Berry. Takes outside 3-0, and the throw behind from Rodriguez not quite in time, but does check Chan.
Well, I like the way that Vega came in to receive that ball at second base, but to make that a better receive at second, she needs to let that ball travel a little bit further and just drop the tag rather than reaching for the receive.
3-0. Green light for Berry, fouls it off for strike 1.
Yeah, that's unique, right? To see a swing on a 3-0 pitch early in a game against Curd, who likes to go up in the zone, but an aggressive swing by Berry almost took advantage of it.
Berry on a 6-game hit streak, had 8 RBIs last weekend at North Carolina, 5 of those in their Game 1 win. Another foul ball.
And Berry is the second highest RBI producer in this lineup. So with a runner in scoring position, you have to be very careful with how you throw her, knowing that Curd in the circle likes to throw up in the zone. If the ball does not move, it makes it very hittable.
25 RBIs this season, had 60 last year that led the team. 3-2. Ooh, inside, and Berry takes that one. Chan, who was running, has to retreat to second.
Anya's clips are on the inside. We know it's a curveball that she likes to throw to both sides of the plate. That might have been a rise ball that just didn't rise enough or have any movement on it. So it actually eliminated the way that took away the threat at the plate, knowing that there was a bunch of RBI production that was sitting there.
We talked about these two teams coming around. Duke is on a big extended winning streak, basically 13 of their last 14. Stanford has won 4 straight with a sweep at North Carolina a week ago, scored 30 runs last weekend, 17 extra base hits. Duke had 8 home runs in their win over Georgia Tech, so the expectation maybe we will see some offense this weekend.
Well, and with Stanford, they kind of stubbed their toe against Notre Dame, and with that stub of the toe, it was nice to see them kind of get back into the routine of swinging away and having success. So coming into this one, this is more of an evenly matched series with both teams maybe having more struggles in the circle than at the plate.
First pitch strike to Addison Shepard, true freshman from Kingwood, Texas. He's reached base 6 times in the last 2 games alone. He's a double shy of the cycle in their Game 3 win over North Carolina last weekend. A long road trip here for Stanford.
Well, and when we talked to Coach Allister about this road trip, she said, we're actually on spring break. We took finals. We're on the quarter system. We took finals right before we left. And so this is a group that's playing a little bit more loose because they've got some time without schoolwork.
Some oohs and ahs from the fans. Thought that might have been a strike on the outside corner. Jessica Allister, year 9. She's been a part of all 4 Stanford Women's College World Series appearances. Couple as a player, couple as head coach. And a win today or a win this weekend would give her 600 for her career. Foul ball.
Yeah, that ball down and under the hands is the one that makes you vulnerable to hitting it into that front leg, and it's so hard to come back and swing hard in your next swing simply because now you've kind of given your front leg a little bit of a hurt to have to create that solid front side against.
1-2. Up and away.
And I speak from experience. I did that so many times in my career, and it hurts so bad, but the velocity of your swing is directly affected by how strong and how firm of a front side you can create. And so sometimes by hitting it into that front side, it eliminates the velocity that you can create with your bat head.
23rd pitch coming from Curd. Into right field and slicing, but it was right at Layla Lamar. So after 2 quick outs, Stanford makes things interesting, but Curd able to put up a 0 in the top of the first. We are underway, a 3-game series at Duke this weekend.
First, Stanford scores no runs on 1 hit. No
Up against Stanford in the batting order, those dynamic duos at the top. Tyrena Jones in the 5-hole, one to keep an eye on. Got off to an electric start this year, had a hit in 22 of the first 23 games and hasn't cooled down much since, with 11 home runs and 44 RBIs that leads the Blue Devils.
And just so important to be able to bring in those key transfers to make up for the loss of power that they found themselves with the graduation of Anna Gold last season.
Deanna Jennings, the center fielder, leads things off and takes strike one from the true freshman right-hander from Columbia, Tennessee, Anna Brewer, making her 6th start of her career. 3-1 record and a 4.05 ERA.
And Chucky, this is actually a staff that is all underclassmen. You're seeing a sophomore in Pristyko who is leading the charge, but then a trio of freshmen that continue to have to take the circle with the injury to Houston. So we will not see Houston today.
So Houston listed day to day, but they said she'll be really important when she returns.
Well, and Brewer in the circle, she's going to throw mid-60s and relies mainly on her drop. She throws it to 2 levels and can also mix in that changeup.
2-1 ripped up the middle, and that's how you start off. One of the best hitters in the ACC, Deanna Jennings, with a leadoff single.
And I've just been so impressed with the way that Deanna Jennings continues to mature in the box. A very mature swing, very balanced in her stance. Started swinging away when we saw the rule change for slappers, where she was coming out of the box on every attempt. And so with that, leaned into how to swing, and there takes advantage with a nice little poke up the middle.
Sets the table for Amina Vega, one of the best second basemen in the country. Her numbers are just absurd. 451 average. 12 doubles, 18 walks, all those lead Duke. She scored 46 runs for them as well. Big swing to foul this off and falls behind 0-2.
I'm just really excited to see Amina Vega healthy again. Last year was battling some injuries that kind of hampered her lateral movement and sometimes affected her swing. So this year, stepping into the box while she led the team last year in average, she's already improved that number by over 40 points.
0-2, Vega into left field, a base hit. That's going to bring Jennings around to third, and Vega's going to take second. Now more than 50% of her hits have gone for extra bases.
Well, and the crazy part about that is a routine ball to the left side of the field. All she did was exploit the 5-6 hole, but with that, as a left fielder, you have to understand that when you bring this ball into the infield, you better go to second base to prevent the advancement by Vega. So with the throw looking to go to third, there was no chance to get Jennings at third. She was there with plenty of time. So throw that ball to second base and keep an additional runner out of scoring position. So maybe a little bit of a miscue by Stanford.
Early visit from Stanford's pitching coach, Danielle O'Toole-Trejo. Just such a difficult lineup to deal with. Look at these numbers from Vega and Jennings. It's just video game-esque.
Well, the crazy thing is that's after today's hits, so those numbers are actually higher than where they were before. I mean, these two hitters are just dynamic. And when you look at the speed that Jennings gets on with, it's great RBI production for her to be able to be hit around by these next couple bats in the lineup.
First pitch inside to Jessica Oakland for ball 1. Duke doesn't run a ton, but Jennings and Vega, they are perfect stealing. 13 of 13 on the season. Obviously nowhere to go right now, but they do have elite speed. Oakland fouls this down the right field line. 1-1 count.
I mean, it would be cool to see a double steal right now, steal home, take third, but you're right. I'm pretty sure that the steal is off the board, especially with the kind of bat that they've got in the box right now in the transfer. Oakland coming in and just absolutely tearing the cover off the ball with 11 home runs this year.
Into right field, carrying and gone. What a start for the Blue Devils. Jessica Oakland with her 5th home run of the season.
And the first 3 runs of the game. Crossing our Jennings, Vega, and Oakland.
Well, and pardon me, but Oakland is not 11. Tyrena Jones has 11 home runs on the year, but now when you look at the way that Oakland is swinging, she's chasing her quickly, because that right there, her 5th home run of the season, and she goes oppo with this. So a ball on the plate, not hitting the corner, and very hittable zone. As soon as she swung at that, you could tell off the bat that that ball was going to carry well to the right side of the field. Huge home run for her, number 5 on the season.
Duke out in front, 3-0 on the true freshman Anna Brewer in the circle. Oakland was here a year ago, but redshirted with an injury. So this is the first year Duke has really seen her, and it was good timing for her to come back as well. They lost a couple big pieces, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, Tessa Malaulu, and then Anna Gold, who was the AUSL Rookie of the Year.
Well, and here's how you celebrate a little sparkling water in the blingy bottle. I mean, it's just, she spent a season watching everyone else celebrate. It's pretty cool to see her this year being able to be right in the mix.
Popped up shallow center field, taken care of by Shepard as they retire KK Mathis for the first out. Did you guys do that back in your day at Arizona?
Kendra, I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff, so, and TV wasn't a part of it. I think a lot of this has to do with TV. So, like, to be able to show the celebration and be cool around the country, and don't get me wrong, I think it's really neat, but no, we did not have, we got a handshake or a high five and head back to the dugout.
Wow, painted the right field line. And extra bases here for Tyrena Jones. The throw just offline. It's a one-out double for Jones, her 6th of the season.
So cool the way that that ball stayed inside first base. It looked like it had eyes getting down the line and just beyond the reach of Taryn Kern. Your job as a corner infielder is to make sure that you protect the lines. So on that one, she gets exposed, and with it going all the way out there to right field, ball comes in pretty quickly. Love the backup, though, by the center fielder and left fielder to keep the damage controlled.
Inside, Layla Lamar dips away for ball 1. Well, how cool is this? You go in the transfer portal, and my daughter's in the transfer portal. Maybe she'll want to come play back at home. And Marissa Young able to bring Layla Lamar in after 1 year at Florida, and she has had a tremendous impact.
When you look at the things that the Marissa Young family has had to handle over the past couple of years with the setbacks medically that James Lamar, Marissa's partner, has had some issues, and with that, bringing Layla back home, pretty cool to be able to have her back with her mom and dad and also have such a successful year. At Florida, she was only able to have 17 at-bats, and so wasn't seeing the lineup every day. Coming home and being here at Duke, she grew up around this field, very familiar place, and is having a ton of success this season.
It takes a 4-pitch walk to make it 1st and 3rd with just 1 away. Take me into the Duke dugout right now. I mean, as a hitter coming up in this situation, first game of a series, kind of the tone setter. What are you passing on to your fellow teammates about what's happening in this first inning?
Well, it's your job to watch what's being thrown, and they've watched film. They know what Brewer is throwing. Down in the zone is typically what she's going to give you, but as a freshman, she's making mistakes over the plate, and so I think that's maybe the information that needs to be coming back. Is she missing outer half, or is she missing inner half? We've seen a home run to the right side, but we've also seen big hits to the left side.
1-0 inside, 2-0 to Kyrie Rodriguez, the Duke backstop, redshirt junior from West Palm Beach, Florida. Had a really good weekend at the plate against Georgia Tech. 5 for 11, double, home run, 4 RBIs. 3-0.
When you talk to Marissa Young about Rodriguez, the high praise comes. She oozes the fact that behind the plate, she has done such a good job of handling the misses that come to her out of the circle. And I think when you've got a pitcher like Kurd with a ton of velocity, you have to be athletic behind the plate.
Nice job by Brewer to bounce back here. Jessica Allister was happy with the resilience and what she called the growth path of these young freshmen and sophomore pitchers, and mentioned last weekend Brewer's production that she had against North Carolina through 9 1/3 innings, appeared in every game, gave up just 5 earned runs. This was a team that a year ago had 3 pitchers for Danielle O'Toole-Trejo to work with as their pitching coach. Big swing, and that is a massive strikeout for Brewer.
What a comeback, starting that count 3-0 and then being able to battle herself all the way back to a strikeout, swing and miss on a pitch that was very hittable, but could not catch up to it, a little bit late. So timing is such an important part of the swing. And right there, timing disrupted and a nice little strikeout.
Brewer trying to limit the damage to just 3. That is a first pitch that hits the first baseman, Jayla Stafford, to load the bases.
And Chucky, you and I were talking about what this pitching staff needs to do to be successful. And before the game, we went down and talked to the pitching coach, Danielle O'Toole and Trejo, and she says, you know what? Sometimes when you get put in situations like this, where you have a young pitching staff, you do leave them out there in situations where maybe they're going to have to take their lumps, because we have to find ways to mature, and sometimes experience is the best teacher. But here we'll see the lift of Brewer for a new pitcher.
Bases loaded, bottom of the first. Duke already up 3. We'll step away for the pitch and change. Freshman from Redwood City, California, went to St. Francis High School, will replace Anna Brewer in a very tough situation with the bases loaded and 2 outs here in the first.
Well, she started her freshman campaign with 2 scoreless innings against Oklahoma State and her only start in the circle, and has had some tough outings, elevating her ERA as of late.
8 of her 10 earned runs have come in 2 games, 5 against Kentucky, 3 against North Carolina in Game 3 last weekend. So outside of that, her other 6 have been pretty good, just hasn't seen a lot of action, only 6 2/3. This is inside ball 1.
I think it's really important to understand why you go to Bulanti here in this situation, and it's typically because she is a off-speed specialist, and with that, it will disrupt the timing of these hitters. We're seeing Duke taking advantage of balls left over the plate and not really a bunch of changeup coming from the former pitcher Brewer. So with Bulanti taking the circle, you're going to see more speed change, which will hopefully help Stanford miss these Duke barrels that are figuring things out quickly.
First chance for Brooklyn Thomas with the bases loaded this year. There is the off speed that catches the outside corner for strike 1.
Well, she just pitches so confidently with that changeup. So as a hitter, you can expect to see that. And then you've got the drop, curve, and rise mix that she'll use to offset the off speed.
Into left field, foul ball.
And so that's what it does. By throwing the changeup so often, the barrel comes through at different times based on the speed of what you think is coming in from the pitching circle. So with that changeup being thrown all the time, it's hard to get your timing in the box. You've got to be ready for the speed, but also adjust to the changeup, especially now with 2 strikes.
2-2. Big point in this game in just the first inning. That one gets away, 3-2. Brooklyn Thomas, a Durham product. into left center field, not deep enough, and it's tracked down by Sophia Jin to strand the bases loaded. So job done for the freshman, but damage done for Duke.
Great situation for Duke when you can put Jessica Oakland up to the plate with runners on. She's the difference in this ballgame, a 3-0 lead for Duke.
Just 20 and 21 regular season games remain for these two teams as we kick off our 3-game series here in Durham this weekend. A couple teams that swept last weekend's games. Duke at Georgia Tech, really in kind of dramatic fashion for them. They had an 8-inning win, 14-13, and then another 1- and 2-run win. For Stanford, they have spent a lot of time in North Carolina over the last 10 days or so, and it has been a successful trip, but not the start they wanted today, as a ground out from Ava Gall starts the top of the second.
Well, and with Stanford, they can swing it. They know how to create run production. However, when you face a pitcher like Curd, who is able to dance around the zone effectively, give you some nice run on those curves, and get the swing and miss on the pitch up in the zone, she is so hard to attack coming out of the circle.
How about tomorrow's featured ACC Network softball games? 10th-ranked Florida State and Clemson squaring off at noon Eastern. Then at 5 Eastern, we've got the second game of the series right here between Duke and Stanford. Like everything else, both games also available on the ESPN app. Some parallels, right? You have Stanford as pretty good history going back to a couple of Women's College World Series trips in the early 2000s against Florida State, which is the perennial power in this league. And then, of course, Duke, also a new program, just like Clemson.
Well, at what point do we start saying Duke and Clemson are not the new kids on the block anymore? They have established themselves in the ACC. Both of them have won an ACC championship title. So when you look at the way these two programs have been put together, you have to talk about these head coaches that started the programs. Marissa Young has done such a good job. She was brought in a little bit early, was able to establish how this field would be built, the kind of program she wanted to build. And another big key aspect in her opinion was she didn't have to move her family. She was already living here. She was an assistant coach at North Carolina, and because of that, it gave her family stability to not have to move, but also gave her the chance to build a program from the ground up, and it has become a perennial power in the ACC.
It's one of the things she really liked about this opportunity to have something that she could really make hers, is what she told us. There are programs that have been around a long time that have not accomplished what Marissa Young has done at Duke since 2018. And in a great spot again this year.
Definitely, they sit at the top of the ACC, and they do not play Florida State this year, so they will match up for the first time this season at the tournament. while that's always fun, it's more fun for the fan to see it in the regular season, but you're gonna have to wait for that matchup and see if they sit in brackets that'll face off before the championship.
3-2 count to Joey Economides. How about the end of the bat and into right field? It's off the fence and gone. Economides just reaches out and slaps it over the right field wall, her third home run of her sophomore season.
Gotta love the way when you can go oppo with power. And Joey right there saw a ball outside part of the plate. Curd supplies a ton of power, and with that velocity coming out of the circle, just meeting it at the right spot is all you have to do. Fantastic swing, staying level through the ball, not trying to elevate and do too much. While it is a home run, it's not a huge hurt because it's a solo shot, and that's where the damage comes, getting runners on before that big hit.
7th straight game for Stanford with a home run. For Economides in the last 5 games, she was just 1 for 14. That one hit was a solo home run against North Carolina last weekend, but that's a big swing for her to try to get it going after an all-freshman team nod last year in her first season with 15 home runs. This is off the handle and right to Oakland for out number 2. Nice bounce back for Curd.
And I think the reason you saw that pitch so close to the zone for Economides to be able to drive that ball out of the yard is because it was a 3-2 count. And when you sit in a 3-2, you definitely have to be closer to the zone. Earlier in counts, Curd can take advantage of these Stanford hitters by extending the zone and trying to get the swing off the plate.
Popped back and snagged behind the plate by one of the fans in attendance, casually.
And filming. I mean, that's pretty good.
We need to get the feed from his phone.
Yeah.
Give us an extra camera.
Help out our camera crew here today.
0-1 from Curd. Tapped and just beyond the reach of Rodriguez behind the plate.
We've talked about the athleticism back behind the plate for Rodriguez. When you catch a pitcher like Curd, who throws with a ton of run and spin and movement, you've got to be able to get out of those legs. And just beyond the dive, she stays alive. But I just love the athleticism back behind the dish.
All smiles from the catcher. You ever do any catching in your time?
Yes, however, not where I needed to be. But I played there in the Little League World Series, so.
Does get this one down, and the speed is too much. Sophia Jin finds her way aboard with 2 outs.
It is so important to be able to put yourself in a situation to get on, and that's just the 8th at bat for Sophia Jin on the season as she sits in the 9 spot for Stanford. We could see that her barrel control was falling below the ball on approach, but there stayed on top of it, got the advantage, and look at the speed that Stanford now has on the base paths.
Said it, Jin now 3 for 8 on the year with a few walks as well. Pitch low for ball 1. Back to Taryn Kern in the top of this order. Plenty of speed at first base for Kern if she can put something in a gap. Swing for a foul ball, 1-1 count. Reminder, if you joined us late, Stanford, one of their best hitters, Emily Jones, who hits .416 with 11 extra base hits and 17 RBIs, is out today. Was injured yesterday in practice on a home run that bounced off of one of the poles on the fence behind the wall and came back and hit her in the face. And so they're just trying to get the swelling down right now and hoping to get her back soon, but kind of unknown on how quickly she can return. And she has been on fire lately, too.
I mean, she sits at the top of the lineup right behind Kern. She is a huge asset to them in their lineup and is needed in a series like this against Duke.
1-2 to Kern, outside, ball 2.
But that's kind of been the story for Stanford this year. A ton of injuries all across the entire lineup, which has handcuffed them at certain points of the season. Maybe not as fast in certain situations or the right defenses on the field. And so right now you're seeing players get opportunities that they may not have had without those injuries.
Popped up. Did she get out of it? No, there was a little bit of a miscommunication. Oakland looked like she had it. I don't know if she heard someone call it, but she pulled off, and that's going to fall in left center field for Kern.
On this time of day, remember, Duke does not play at this time of the day very often. This game was moved because of the threat of thunderstorms later in the day. As this ball goes up, as soon as Oakland goes back, she loses it in the sun. Because she lost it, she was trying to get help from her outfielders, but they were too far away to be able to get there. And with speed on the base paths, everybody was able to take advantage.
That is a double in the book.
Nobody needs to know. Looking back on that, it was frozen all the way to the wall, right?
It just missed a home run. 23 of Kern's 37 hits on the year have gone for extra bases. That one just a little more unique than the rest, I think. Big chance here, tying run at second base. Kern calls time.
Well, and Checky, when you think about that ball that goes in the sun, with 2 outs as a runner at second base, you should be absolutely tearing it up. But with that, or at first base. So with that situation, a little hesitation maybe prevented a run. So when you watch the way that she was running the bases, there was a little bit of a hesitation over there at first base. And with that, I don't know that there was a chance for her to come home, especially the way that Oakland recovered by coming up with a hard throw home. But that hesitation shouldn't be there, and that just happens because of the limited experience that she has so far this year.
0-2. The swing that this could be in this game is really incredible, because it looked like Duke might put up a 5 or a 6 spot in the first inning, and now all of a sudden Stanford's a base hit away from this being tied at 3. Popped up and out of play, still a 1-2 count.
Well, that's maybe the issue that both of these teams are having, is getting the key hit with runners in scoring position. So many times they get runners in positions to score, but then they can't come away with that key hit to blow things wide open.
Another 1-2 from Kern. Hard hit ground ball. Oakland smothers it, and the throw is in time. Got her by a half step to strand a pair.
But not before the solo shot by Joey Economides going oppo. Big blast to put him on the board.
No errors, 2 runners were left on base. Midway through the second, your score is
Duke loves the first inning, especially in ACC home games. In 4 openers in ACC series, this is what they've done so far. A couple home runs, a grand slam being one of those, outscoring their opponents 11-0 in the first frame.
Well, the way that the offense is training right now, Coach Marissa Young says they're looking to see how quickly they can get to the bullpen, and we're able to get to the bullpen in the first inning. So mission accomplished here today in the first inning.
A little different from baseball in the sense that you're not really going to burn somebody's arms out, but you are certainly throwing a wrench in the plan of what they were hoping to do in game 1.
Well, the crazy thing is when you're in a 3-game series, you're hoping to be able to throw less pitchers in game 1 so that they don't have familiarity heading into 2 more games. And so with the change early, they already have gotten to the bullpen and have been able to see 2 arms.
Down the left field line. Back to the top of this Duke order. The first 3 in the first inning reached. A single, and a 3-run shot from Jessica Oakland. So Jennings and Vega, who seems like they have scored in every game this year. Jennings has scored in 27 of the Duke's 33 games. Vega has scored in 28 of their 33 games.
I mean, that's pretty important to have not just that kind of average production, batting average production at the top of the lineup, but with the big bats that come behind them, it's just a matter of time before you can hit them around. So much speed, and their execution on the base paths, so good. You have to have feel on the bases. Just advancing 60 feet is not enough. And when you talk to Marissa Young about the way that she asks these players to run the bases, she talks about how Vega right now has been so just dynamic of being able to steal an extra 60 feet. And with Jennings in front of her, ton of speed.
Chopped, smothered by Mailer. Nice play by the shortstop for out number 1. Anytime you can sit down Deanna Jennings, you got to be thrilled as a pitcher, but now you get to deal with Amina Vega. 2 of the best in not just the ACC, but in the country. This is the active Division I hits leaders.
They are so good, and they go back-to-back in a lineup. That's what makes them so dangerous. Duke has been able to find a way to get them back-to-back in a lineup and then put power behind them to get the scoring production going.
It's easy to put yourself in the record books when you're in the first 8 to 10 years of a program, but these are numbers that will be up there for a while for Duke. It's not just that, oh, it's early. You play 4 years, you'll be up there. They have had some elite level talent from their first season. Great hustle by Jade Berry, and that ball might have bounced up and got her a little bit. Looks okay. The last thing Stanford wants.
I held my breath because on the dive you think, oh, she just missed it, but the ball hits the ground and then comes up and hits her in the face. The injury bug has definitely bit Stanford. Luckily over there at third, Berry is okay, but scary moment.
That mouthpiece is looking real good right about now.
We all should wear them. They're taking their licks for sure.
Mailer has dealt with the hand issue. Alyssa Houston has been out for a couple weeks now, almost 2 weeks now. Emily Jones missed all of January, and then she was kind of fine for the most part this season. And of course, yesterday gets hurt in practice. Ava Gall broke her thumb against Kentucky. Akano Mides missed most of the fall. Sydney Bulifin pulled her quad right before the season started. And a lot of them have played. A lot of them have toughed it out, as you see Emily Jones there in the sunglasses. Sprayed down the left field line, foul.
And being able to rebound from injuries is something that these teams are structured to do. You know, typically we see these rosters that are inflated to have more bodies on the bench to be able to come in those types of situations. But when you have so many injuries that are happening at the same time, it really affects the consistency and rhythm of your lineup, not just on the field, but at the plate.
Ball 3. Emily Jones and what she has accomplished. Third-team All-American last year. Couple all-conference nods as well, and trending that direction again this season with a .416 average This is skied to right center. Not gonna have enough though off the bat of Vega for out number 2.
I mean, Vega has been able to do so much at the plate. We talk about her speed, we talk about her average, but last year had 12 home runs. Just a smart hitter, hasn't been chasing, and right there, barely missed another home run. So I like the way that Belanti has come into this game and settled things down for Stanford.
Looking for a 1-2-3 inning against the top of this Duke order is the true freshman Ava Belanti. Quick conversation here with Ava Gall. Oakland looking to add to her home run total, already 1 in this game.
And I think that's probably the reason that we saw that meeting in the circle, to be able to come out, talk to the freshman about how to attack Oakland. She did not face her yet, and so this is her first time against the big hitter in the lineup.
Outside ball 1. You had everybody's number, but was there something a pitcher did ever that you thought, okay, I've got you now? Is there something you could see or just feel that you felt like, I've got the big advantage?
Sometimes the ball looks like a beach ball, and sometimes it looks like a golf ball or a BB. And I think that's just the nature of our game. It's a game of failure, and how quickly can you respond when you don't produce. And when you have injuries, I think every player who has played at a high level has played through something, whether it's a banged up arm or a hurt leg. And when you play through injuries, sometimes it focuses you a little bit more. Instead of being so wild and carefree, you focus in on a pitcher, and it's just a matter of finding a weakness and trying to exploit it. A lot of times the game starts to slow down the older you get. So that's why sophomore year can be a little bit of a hiccup in some careers, because you're not the new kid on the block anymore. Your tendencies have been exploited, but the game slows down that junior and senior season, and you're able to just let the game come to you instead of pressing and forcing things.
Down and in, Oakland ahead in the count 3-1 now with 2 outs and nobody on. Oakland draws a walk.
To be a big hitter and also have consistency and discipline at the plate is a quality that is so important. You don't want to swing outside the zone, and so a nice little AB for Oakland.
Number 27, K.K. Mathis.
Oakland on first for K.K. Mathis, who popped up to the second baseman her first trip to the plate. Watches ball 1. Mathis, a senior from Westchester, Ohio. Played her first 2 years at James Madison. This is her second season as a Blue Devil. Ripped and stabbed at third by Jade Berry. Great play at the hot corner after just missing a tremendous grab in foul territory earlier in this inning.
Defense keeps you in ball games, and this hot corner play right here gets Stanford back in the dugout.
Second, Duke scores no runs on no hits, no errors. 1 runner was left on base. We are done with 2 years.
game 2 of a 3-game baseball series between Miami and Clemson right here on ACC Network at 8 Eastern. And then tomorrow's finale is at 3 Eastern on ACC Network Extra, like everything else. All those games also available on the ESPN app.
And that's a must-win game for Clemson. They lost last night. They're sitting down at the bottom of the ACC standings, and so for them, they've got to find a way to come away with that win in that out-of-conference matchup.
Inning number 3 for Cassidy Curd in the circle. Seen multiple base runners in each of the first 2 innings, but has allowed just the 1 run. Got on a tough spot in the second, but able to keep it to just that 1 run off the Economides solo shot. 3-4-5 for Stanford here in the 3rd frame.
And you're seeing the discipline by Stanford at the plate. Not many swing and misses against Curd, who loves to go up in the zone, leave the ball down, try to get hitters to swing outside of their plan. So far, no walks and no strikeouts for Curd.
Two-two.
When hitters show that kind of discipline at the plate, it really puts a lot of pressure on a pitcher to have to bring the ball into much more hittable zones. And when the ball is there, it leaves you vulnerable for the big hit.
And chasing that one upstairs just under it.
Well, and you're seeing a little bit more giddy up on that rise ball up in the zone out of Curd's hand right now. First inning, she was a little more careful with that pitch. This inning, you're seeing her dig a little bit deeper and throwing with a little more velo.
Chopper right side. Oh, nice job with the quick glove from Vega. 1 away.
Tell you what, when you watch Vega play second base, she just is so good at reading the ball. That was a difficult hop. And typically you like to see an infielder be aggressive forward, but I like the fact that she took that step back to allow the second hop, a longer hop, to make that play. But it took a big hop, not expected. Great hands, gets the out.
I get shot off the dirt on that last bounce.
Well, there's a ton of topspin. When you get that topspin, that second hop can sometimes take a little bit extra juice up in the air. Played it so well. Just been so impressed with the career that Vega's had over there at second base.
Popped up and out of play. Jade Berry with 1 away and nobody on. Vega was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year a couple of years ago for Duke, but when you talk about offensively how consistent she's been, she's hit .365 or better every year, and at least 12 home runs in her first 3 seasons.
I mean, you're looking at Curd continue to evolve as a pitcher. We've seen her be very wild in the past, and while the ball tends to get away from her, she is doing a much better job of staying consistent on the zone, giving very disguised misses at the plate. Ooh, that's a nice spot. The smile on Curd's face tells you she wanted that one too. Comes to being just able to nip that corner, get it under the hands. That's a really nice pitch.
She'll try again at 2-2. 3-2. Cassidy Curd was a freshman in the midst of an unbelievable season when these two met on this very field in the Super Regionals back in 2023. Into left center field, carrying toward the wall and tracked down by Thomas for out number 2.
Well, since her freshman year here at Duke, Curd has been a formidable force. Back then, she was partnered with Jayla Wright, who was heavy down in the zone, and then Curd was up in the zone. And when you think about this series, it also had Elena Vaughter and, at the time, the transfer to Texas Tech, which was Nigeri Kennedy.
The Kennedy-Elena Vaughter combination was unbelievable for Stanford. There's Nyjah now at Texas Tech in her second season there. Oh, 1 misses low. Addison Shepard, the freshman, trying to break up a 1-2-3 inning for Curd. It would be the first for either team in this game. Off the end of the bat, fouled off for strike 2.
When you look at the way that the transfer portal is structured, most teams can take advantage of that sit in the Power 4. They can go in, find talent to replace what they lose that has maybe a little more maturity, a little more experience to help out with graduation losses. But when you look at a team like Stanford, they do not have that liberty because of the strict entrance requirements at Stanford. So with that, they are completely reliant upon developing talent and finding elite talent that can start for them quickly.
Which is yet another reason Jessica Allister's job has been so impressive in her time as head coach. They have recruited talent and they have developed them both offensively and in the circle. Great play at third, and the running throw in time from Tyrena Jones to make it a 1-2-3 inning for Cassidy Curd. Bottom of the third we go. Duke up 3-1, and we'll talk to Marissa Young on the other side.
At the top of the third, Stanford scores no runs on no hits, no errors.
Weekend Duke leading Stanford 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the third. We are joined by Duke's head coach Marissa Young. Coach, on a great stretch right here. You've won 13 of your last 14, have done it in a lot of different ways. From your perspective, what have you liked over these last few weeks from your team?
Just their consistency. I think we've been consistent offensively. We've been playing great defense, and then we've pieced it together in the circle, each pitcher stepping up in different ways.
I tell you what, you've got quite the luxury with this lineup, especially with Jennings and Vega at the top. I mean, what are these seniors doing for you this year?
They really get things going, and I think the information they bring back to the dugout really gives the rest of the offense confidence, and they just continue to find ways to get it done.
Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
I love that. We talked about it earlier, too, with that communication, but we think of all the data, all the analytics, and this advanced stuff we have, but you see it at the pro level, you see it at the college level. At the end of the day, it's that transfer of information player to player that we still see so often.
Most definitely. There is an aspect of the game that is very difficult to track, and that's just the heartbeat of what you're feeling, what you're seeing, and the rhythm of what's going on. Sometimes it's more of a gut check than it is going to the numbers to figure out what's going on, and I think that's maybe part of the game that gets lost in all of the analytics.
This is a big relief appearance for Ava Bulanti to this point, coming into a bases-loaded situation back in the first inning and keeping this game in check, and then nearly going 1-2-3 through the top of the order. Did walk Jessica Oakland, but nothing doing for Duke in the second inning against this true freshman.
And let's be honest, I'd walk Jessica Oakland too, knowing what she had done in her previous at-bat. She hit the ball out of the park. It was a 3-run home run. That's the difference on the ball on the scoreboard right now with the 3-1 lead by Duke. So being able to know when to hit the zone and when to leave it away is really an important skill for pitchers too.
Through the 5-6 hole to start the inning off for Tyrena Jones. Her second hit now after doubling in the first inning.
Well, and to get Tyrena Jones to stay in the ballpark is another big feat, knowing she's got 11 bombs on the year. The 5-6 hole is being exploited, and with the way that Bulanti throws, she throws with a change of speed. I'm going to need her to maybe add in another speed change to her repertoire for next season. But this experience right now, so important to face this kind of elite hitting in her freshman season.
This is ripped and stabbed at second by Shepard. Lamar robbed of a base hit.
I mean, it's just such smart base running as well. Off the bat, that ball was lasered. But a huge reach and stretch by Shepard and a quick throw to first base. Heads up base running keeps Tyrena Jones alive as she saw that one get caught.
That will do it for Bulanti. It will go down as a very impressive outing for the true freshman, but now they hand it off to the lefty, Zoe Pristaico, their ace. We will get to in just a moment. The Blue Devils actually highlight next Saturday's lacrosse matchups too, right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Next Saturday, number 6 ranked men host Virginia here in Durham at noon Eastern. Then at 4, the 17th ranked women host number 5 Syracuse for a couple good ones in lacrosse. You ever played lacrosse?
No, but it actually sits right here behind this softball stadium, and the men right now are perfect on the season, a perfect 8-0. So excited to see the way that their season shapes up.
I'm sure these Duke faithful will be at those as well. So a pitching change with 1 away and 1 on. Zoe Pristaico, a left-handed sophomore from Huntington Beach, California. She was really thrown into it last year. Had to throw over 90 innings as a true freshman because Stanford only had 3 arms on their roster. And I asked their pitching coach, Daniel O'Toole-Trejo, about that. And she said, man, how great is that? How many freshmen get to come in and throw 90 innings? And it was a lot of, look, you got to figure it out.
Well, and that figure it out has translated into a very successful sophomore campaign. She lives at the top of the zone comfortably, but has found great vertical separation and a lot more strikeouts with an improved drop ball this year, especially against the right-handed hitter. She'll throw that changeup, but it does get left into pretty hittable zones at times. But you're right, when you talk about Pristaico last year, she had an ERA of 5 and almost 100 innings of work. Very rarely do you see freshmen who maybe are having a hard time get left in ball games, but they didn't have a lot of options last year.
They had 3 arms last year. Alyssa Houston, Zoe Pristaico, and Kylie Chung. Chung is gone. She was second in ERA. She had the most innings pitched on the team. As you see this development from Pristaico year 1 to year 2. This one gets away, and the runner Jones is up to second with just 1 away.
Well, and maybe the number that stands out to me the most in that graphic when you look at it is the ERA component, because last year gave up a ton of runs, struggled in tough situations, and this year has slashed that by more than half and comes into these ball games. We found her more successful as a reliever than as a starter here at the end of the season.
Every major category, it seems, has improved for Zoe Pristaico. Her ERA has dropped 3 runs. Her innings are up, or will be, from a perspective of where we are in the season. Strikeouts way up, opponent average way down. Gets Rodriguez to swing through that pitch for out number 2.
Just so important to be able to come in and give a very different look, and that's what she has been able to do better in a reliever role. When she starts, she does start well, but in this situation, she has been able to come in and combat where Bulanti was throwing with not as much velocity. She comes in and is able to exploit the top of the zone.
Off the end of the bat, job done for Zoe Pristaico. Strands a runner, and Stanford is settling in nicely here in Durham. Still down 2 runs, but this offense has plenty of firepower.
No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 1 runner was left on base. After 3, your score is Duke 3, Stanford
More softball tomorrow. Our featured ACC Network games are 10th ranked Florida State and Clemson. That game at noon Eastern. Then at 5 Eastern, we will have game 2 of this series right here at Smith Family Stadium. Both of those also available on the ESPN app. This is a busy ballpark this summer because it will host the Carolina Blaze in year 2 of the AUSL. The ACC well represented in the AUSL and potentially even more well represented in the upcoming AUSL rookie draft later this spring. Some big names here.
Really big names, and excited to see the way that Jayla Wright is able to pick up the ball and play her first year professionally. And she gets to do it in a pretty familiar place here in Durham as she will take on the Blaze uniform. And in that promo, there's Anna Gold, another Blaze player sitting right there in the middle. It's alumni weekend, so it's kind of cool to be able to see a lot of these Duke players back here in Durham.
That is just foul. Jayla Wright in her first season as an assistant coach for her former head coach, Marissa Young. Here's what she did at Duke. I thought it was so funny. Marissa Young said she's seeing the other side of it now, and said that Jayla said, "Did I used to drive you crazy like that?" She said, "Yeah, you used to give me some gray hairs too."
And it's fun as a player to be able to have those moments that come full circle where you can see maybe how you were as a player, but what the cool part about it is now that she is a coach, she sees how to be better as a player because she now understands how to maybe communicate better, how to execute better, how to train a little bit more efficiently. And it's that experience that will make her so much of an asset to the Carolina Blaze that will play here at the Smith Family Stadium this summer.
I'm also sitting next to a general manager in the AUSL, the Chicago Bandits, my partner Jenny Dalton-Hill, of course, who was excellent, by the way, in season number 1 with the team he put together. That's what I love, too, about the AUSL and how everything came together is everybody started from the same spot last year. And to your credit, you had an outstanding first season with Chicago, and, of course, year 2 expected to be even better now with the home sites announced.
Yeah, we were maybe the worst kept secret in all of pro softball with us now being placed in Chicago. I don't know that you can have a Bandits team that is not in Chicago, and so pretty cool to be able to see the way that the huge names of our game are now able to come and continue their careers and play professionally. But 7 of those 12 home games will be played at the Smith Family Stadium here on Duke's campus. 1 series will be in Durham at the Bulls Athletic Park. And Kara Dill, who is the head coach at UT Arlington, will be at the helm of the program here.
Stanford has a pinch runner at first.
There's Jayla Wright's mom already sporting the Jayla Wright gear
Now batting,
with
number
her
35,
Blaze.
Joey.
There's Felicia. She said she'll be here all summer long.
Another connection to Stanford and the Carolina Blaze is their general manager, Dana Sorensen. That just pops out of the glove of Lamar in right field. The runner trying to go to third, the throw in time, and they got her. Adriana Callahan was the pinch runner who gets thrown out at third base for out number 1.
I see you, Layla Lamar, out there in right field. We see deep in ball games when there are times defensively they make changes to shore up their defense, get a little bit tighter. So with the ball squeaking out of her glove, she comes up very aware of a Stanford base runner trying to take advantage of that miscue. Laser to third base, huge out to eliminate that threat. And when you watch the way she recovers from this ball out here in right field, so important to keep her body in front of that ball, but then the throw made by Vega, huge strike all the way over there to Jones at third. I thought initially that throw came from Lamar, but it got away, it kicked back from Lamar so far that Vega had a chance to retreat, pick it up, and then deliver a beautiful throw over there to third base. Nice little teamwork out there.
This is one thing that they can do with Emily Jones out. There is a spot for Zoe Prostyko, who has hit a little bit this year. She's 3 for 8 at the plate, a double, a couple RBI, and she will hit for herself after entering this game in the circle in the bottom half of the third.
Well, and it's hard because you don't really prepare for Pristyko in the box. When she steps in, she doesn't have a ton of plate appearances, and because of that, you don't necessarily come in thinking you're going to see her. This is just her 10th at-bat on the season, and so this is the conversation I'm sure that Marissa Young is coming out to have. Like, here's how we're going to attack this because we haven't prepared for her.
Hey, folks, I made a mistake on my last
As a former
comment.
two-way player in her own right, Marissa Young, not just the Big Ten Pitcher of the Year in 2002, but the Big Ten Player of the Year in 2003 at Michigan.
I'm so grateful that I am not the same age as Marissa Young, because facing her in the circle and then having to defend against her at the plate would have been a really tough task. She was so good at Michigan.
2-1 count, runner on second. Pristyko takes upstairs, ball 3.
When I say we're not the same age, she is much younger. I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to say that she's older than I am, because she is definitely not. She is still in her prime. So love the fact that she's able to just take the helm here at Duke.
Pristyko takes ball 4, first and second now with just 1 out.
That's a huge at-bat, and Curd right now starting to struggle with the zone. 2 walks in this inning after being pretty dominant the first couple of innings.
Center fielder number 20, Sophia.
Cassidy Curd has thrown a lot of innings for Duke. Has even increased that when you look at just percentage of Duke's innings pitched over the last couple of years. 38% last year, 40% this year. It's the nature of being an ace, really.
And she's a grip it and rip it kind of pitcher, but this season we've seen some changes in her motion to try to help the health of her back. We've seen her with some back issues in some of her career, and with that, her pitching motion has changed quite a bit throughout her career. And with those changes, this season they've leaned into motor preferences that they hope will allow her to stay healthier, longer in the season, throwing with the same velocity at the beginning of the year as at the end.
Allison Morikawa, one of the 6 seniors for Stanford, playing in just her 3rd game of the year, takes her spot at second base. First pitch outside to the 9-hole Sophia Jin, who had a bunt single her first trip to the plate in the second.
Well, knowing that Jin has not had a lot of plate appearances or a ton of power, the defense will crowd her at the plate and force that short game.
Popped up and spinning, wisely left by the Duke defense to roll foul.
And this is how we saw the beginning of her last at-bat go. She allowed the barrel to drop down as she pulled off the plate, but look at how shallow each of these defenders are, knowing that she is just a tap-and-go kind of hitter. They are looking to get that ball up in the zone on a catch. That'll be the easiest out that they can get out of Jin.
One from Curd. Right back to the pitcher. Looked at third, not there, and the bases are loaded.
And that's the hardest part about that. The runner that you need to attack was at second base, but with the way that the bunt coverages go, your corners are crashing, your middles have to cover the outside bases. And so with that, the only play Curd had was at first base, but she looked to third first, and with that, took away the opportunity to get Jin going down first base.
One of the best hitters in the country steps to the plate. Taryn Kern with a huge opportunity. Lifts this foul. She is 1 for 2 with bases loaded this year. She has 9 home runs on the season. That leads Stanford. 28 RBIs, does the same. There's the ACC ranks, one of the best in the conference. Inside, got her, and that's going to score a run.
And it looked as though she was crowding the plate a little bit more. I think that's the conversation we're going to see from Marissa Young coming out of the dugout to have a conversation with home plate umpire Craig Hyde, because that right arm is over the plate, and with that, that should not be a hit by pitch because the ball does not enter the batter's box, which is where the rule states the ball needs to be and hit a batter and give them first base. So I like this conversation that Marissa Young has created between the umpires to figure out where that ball was when it hit Kern.
On the back elbow.
I was never courageous enough to wear a ball on the elbow intentionally, but I give it to Kern in that situation because it puts a run on the board.
Well, there was an explanation given. I'm not sure that we got it clearly, though, from the home plate umpire, Craig Hyde. And they are going to maybe take a look at this. That's what he was saying. So we'll see. Well, tonight, game 2 of a 3-game baseball series between Miami and Clemson right here on ACC Network at 8 Eastern. The finale tomorrow is at 3 Eastern over on ACC Network Extra. You can catch them both on the ESPN app. Just going back to your courage, you didn't have the elbow guard, though, did you?
No, this was in the dinosaur ages when there were no protective pieces that we could wear, but I actually am grateful that we do have the protective arm guards on the front elbow, because I had a couple of teammates who would wear it there, and then we don't have them the rest of the game or the next game because it's such a vulnerable spot to get hit. Kern is so valuable. You never want to see a player go down with any kind of injury, and the way that Stanford's been going, they've had a ton of injuries this year, so it's always scary when you see those vulnerable spots.
They're keeping it light in Durham today. I love it.
Do you have dance moves like that?
I don't know. I mean, some of these maybe from what we've seen.
Could you do that one?
Yeah, maybe. No offense to Sophia Jin or Mylea Perez, who we just saw there, but maybe some of those.
Oh, a little ballerina?
I can probably do that.
You can pull that one off.
Might pull a hammy, but they're really in sync, too. This is impressive, and this is great entertainment while our umpires come back out to give us the call. We can relay to you that the call on the field stands.
Yeah, there's no mics in the ACC, but definitely that's exactly what was stated by the umpire, Emerus Addison, letting us know that it wasn't hit by pitch. And plate the run and bring this game within 1.
Well, now River Mailer, who is 1 for 6 with the bases loaded this year. She has not homered on the season. Had 11 last year after none in her first 2 seasons. Has dealt with that hand injury this year. Still hitting over 300. 0 for 2 today. Big chance for Mailer to tie or potentially take the lead here in the 4th. Ground ball gets through, and that will tie it at 3. The runner will hold at 3rd with the bases still loaded and 1 away.
An execution with runners in scoring position has maybe been a big Achilles heel for Stanford this season. When you talk to Coach Allister about being able to execute in those tough moments, she says this team can't try any harder. It's about relaxing and executing at the plate, and they're great at bat by Mailer, and it will force a pitching change in the circle for Duke.
So Ava Bradshaw gets set for the Blue Devils. Bases loaded, 1 out. Big spot here in the 4th inning. We'll step away.
Duke has a new pitcher. She wears number 6.
3 1/3 for Cassidy Kurd. The Duke ace gives up 7 hits, just the 3 earned, but is responsible for all 3 runners on the base paths right now in a very dangerous situation with Kira Chan coming to the plate against a redshirt freshman pitcher, Ava Bradshaw.
And Bradshaw has a very similar repertoire as Kurd. She steps in with a ton of velo, redshirted in 2025, tore her ACL for the 2nd time, but sitting alongside those coaches last year has helped her.
Ground ball right side, throw home is there, and a nice job by Bradshaw to induce that ground ball for out number 2.
That is a huge softball IQ play there. Hard hit ball down the lines. Stafford comes away with it and has the presence of mind and has had the pre-pitch preparation to be able to say, hard ground ball to me, I'm going home with it. And I love the way that Rodriguez put her foot squarely on home plate so that there was no doubt that that out was secured.
Not out of it yet. Jade Berry now takes strike 1 from Bradshaw.
And Bradshaw's going to rely on her curve with a ton of velo out of the circle. She mixes up and arm side run with that rise and screw at the belt, and she will flash that changeup, but doesn't rely on that pitch.
No ball 1. Berry has a couple hits in 5 appearances at the plate with the bases loaded. Outside ball 2. Berry trying to extend a hit streak to 7 games. Drove in 8 runs a week ago against North Carolina. Two 1. 3-1 and a big hitter's count here for Berry.
Being able to relax in this situation is so important. Don't try to swing outside the zone and cause the 3rd out of the inning. Just punch this ball to the grass and tie this ball and get the lead in this ball game.
Low, and she'll take the walk. Second free pass that has brought a run across for Stanford in this inning, and they have their first lead.
And while that run is not credited to Bradshaw, it's definitely not how you want to enter a ball game. You've got to be able to be a little bit more tight to the zone and get these Stanford hitters to earn their runs.
First pitch strike to Addison Shepard. Shepard has hit 5 home runs and driven in 21 in her true freshman season. Ground ball right side, hops up nicely for Vega, who strands the bases loaded, but a 3 spot in the 4th for Stanford, and they lead 4-3. We'll talk to their head coach, Jessica Allister, when we come back.
Stanford scores 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors.
Stanford gets 3 in the top of the 4th, and they lead Duke 4-3 here going to the bottom half of the inning. We're joined by their head coach, Jessica Allister. Coach, I want to go back to the first inning with your freshman pitcher, Ava Bulanti, who came into a really tough spot but gave you guys a great inning or two of work. What did you see from her today?
Yeah, she was great. Like you said, she got us out of a tough spot, got us back in the dugout with only 3 up, which was huge. And then, did a great job in the second and third as well. So she's changing speeds, changing locations, competing in the zone.
Well, and you talked to us a little bit about execution with runners in scoring position before coming into this. You're getting runners on. What is needed to be able to just bust this game wide open?
Well, we just have to stick with it. And I think we're doing a pretty good job, actually. I think we're getting some pretty good barrel on the ball. And we need to continue to take aggressive swings when we get a pitch we want to handle.
Appreciate the time, Coach.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, she's right. They're getting them on. It's just a matter of continuing to put barrel on ball and challenge the pitcher in the circle. They've now chased Curd from the circle, which will maybe help them. But you're now seeing Pristyko with the chance to secure a win here in the opening game of this series.
Bottom of the 4th, Duke coming to the plate, 9-1-2. Due up for the Blue Devils. Brooklyn Thomas flew out to center field. She was the first to face Ava Bulanti actually back in that first inning. Of course, Pristyko is now the arm in the circle for Stanford. Thomas entered this weekend having played in just 8 games. She was 1 for 2 at the plate. That gets the start today out in left field. 2-0 count against Pristyko.
And 2-0 is one of those counts where you need to hunt a specific zone and make sure that you are able to attack a ball left over the plate. There, didn't like it down, but then your next swing should not be at a pitch that's worse. And so it's about taking advantage of knowing the count and what a pitcher is trying to do against you. So with an even count, Pristyko's going to be able to dance around and not give anything good.
Bounced in, and now a full count to Thomas, trying to set the table for the top of this Duke order. Oh, wow, what a pitch from Pristyko.
That right there was right down Main Street, but she got into her back pocket to put a little something extra on that one. That one had more velo than the previous pitches, and because of that, it caught Thomas off guard.
We had a great vantage point of that pitch. It had some nasty late movement on it.
Gotta have a little wiggle if you want to be successful.
Big out, too, to not give Jennings and Vega anything to work with. They both reached in the first inning. They both were retired in the second inning.
Well, and that goes back to the comment that you made to Coach Allister, was bringing in Bulanti, who, when you looked at the way the game started, Brewer got taken advantage of early in this game. Bulanti came in and settled things down.
Certainly wasn't the plan Stanford had from a pitching standpoint, but what Bulanti did, it feels like they're more on track now, because Pristyko likely was going to get used in this game at some point. Maybe she comes in an inning or two earlier, but you're almost back on track.
I think the way that Stanford is going to have to pitch this year is you will see Pristyko in probably every game, but they are much more successful when she comes in as a reliever as opposed to being a starter and letting those freshmen finish up games. Well, and there you saw Jennings mad because she knew if she had just stayed put, she was going to wear that pitch, and then it would have given her a chance to steal second, put pressure on the defense. So a little bit of a frustration move after that ball up and in that she got out of the way of.
That is a walk for Jennings.
A much less painful way to get on the base pass.
Second baseman, number 17.
Duke started this game 4 for 5 at the plate with 3 runs scored. Since that, they are 1 for 10 and have not scored. It could all change really quickly here if Pristyko's not careful. She's going to get a visit from another talented lefty, Danielle O'Toole-Trejo. Year 2 as the pitching coach at Stanford for Danielle.
Well, in the way that Coach Danielle O'Toole-Trejo was able to throw herself at Arizona. Fun to see her be able to come out and help this lefty.
What I saw with this staff, when I saw that Jolene Henderson got added, is that they have the best pitching staff made up of coaches in the country. Jolene Henderson, you see the numbers here, they have over 300 career wins at the collegiate level. They have Player of the Year awards all over the place, All-Americans. Unbelievable. Jolene Henderson, Sarah Gronewagen, who did it at Minnesota, and then Danielle O'Toole-Trejo, who did it in her final couple years at Arizona.
And Jessica Allister made sure to let us know that, don't worry, Danielle O'Toole-Trejo is our pitching coach, but those three minds definitely develop game plans, work with the pitching staff, and they're the ones that are being able to shape this Stanford circle with such young talent right now as they face tough ACC competition here at the end of the year.
Foul ball, 0-2 count to Vega now. And part of the reason Jolene Henderson was able to join the staff as an assistant coach is Sarah Gronewagen moved to a different role this year. She transitioned to Director of Softball Recruiting and Technology. Part of that is she is still playing. She was a bronze medalist with Canada at the 2020 Olympics, and her sights are set on the 2028 Olympics with Canada, and so that move just allows her to continue to keep her focus in that department as well as helping out at Stanford on this coaching staff.
Well, and then you think about the way that now coaches can work with their teams. Just because she is in that director role, she can still take the circle and throw batting practice, help out.
Jennings up to second on the pitch in the dirt. Yeah, that's a fine line, right? When you have an Olympian that you're having throw batting practice, like, of course, it's great for your team, but you don't want to mowing your lineup down and diminishing the confidence.
Yeah, you definitely need to make sure you know when to turn it on and mess with your hitters, or just throw a little feel-good BP.
Jolene Henderson also throws a little BP as well. She's still got it, had a great college career and professional career.
And I'll throw this out there. Right now, the Bandit staff is looking for someone to throw BP for our team throughout the year. And as we look around, my conversations have been, well, is this person able to throw with velo? Can they throw with movement? And if the answer is they just throw feel-good BP, I'm out.
Into center, and the sun is a problem again. Jin had her glove up the whole time, but just could not fight off the sun long enough. And you see the conversation with her and Mailer there. It's a big chance now with Vega on second and Jennings on third.
Well, we saw this happen earlier in this game with Jessica Oakland for Duke over at shortstop. She lost a ball in the sun. And out there in center, Jin, with the sunglasses on her forehead, misses the ball, or loses the ball in the sun. A nice little double for Vega that didn't have a lot of punch on it.
In her defense with the sun, it has been really weird today. This happened earlier with the play. The sun has kind of been going in and out. The clouds have moved in, and right now we've got a little cloud cover, so if that ball was hit right now, wouldn't be a problem.
And I'm gonna let you have that opinion, but I'm gonna say, when you play in the field and the ball pokes out, you've got time to put the glasses on so that that doesn't happen. So not a lot of wiggle room for me, unfortunately, in that one.
It's the same with the BP.
Yes.
You said, listen, I'm not here to watch you hit it over the wall. I want you challenged. I like it.
I drafted you because I know you can hit it out. I need somebody to challenge you and make you better. And in that situation, in center field, you got to be better. Put the glasses on, make the play, keep the runners out of scoring position, especially with the kind of speed they've got.
Oakland fouls that off to stay alive 1-2. This is exactly the situation she had in the first inning when she hit that 3-run home run. These two, Jennings and Vega, on base, and she hit one over the right field wall to make it 3-0. This is not quite as well hit, but well placed, and this gets by the left fielder, Perez in left, and scores a pair as Oakland strides into second. So a couple defensive miscues here for Stanford in the fourth.
And it's about playing each of the areas of the game well. You've got to pitch well, you've got to hit well, and you've got to play solid defense. And right now, Stanford has some defensive miscues that have turned completely into runs. When you look at the speed that you had on the bases with Jennings and Vega, you cannot make that miscue and left and expect to keep them from scoring. So with the speed on the bases, it allows Duke to now take the lead with that little bloop single to left.
Ariel Kruger will run, the freshman from Michigan. Has been her primary role this year. In her 15th game that she has seen action in, she scored 7 times. A couple lead changes in this 4th inning.
Well, and you just have to make sure that when you have a chance to make it out, you secure it. So it starts with Jin in center and then the miscue in left. And this ball game is different now.
Let's go down as an RBI single for Oakland, and then an error on the new left fielder, Perez, out in left. KK Mathis is 0 for 2 in this game. Fouls it straight back. Steico trying to settle in again. It's still just 1 out in this inning. Started the inning off with a strikeout of Brooklyn Thomas in the 9 spot. Now 3 straight of reach. Walk, double, and a single at the top of this order.
And that's the goal of this Duke offense, is to try to pass the bat and get to the bullpen. And so if they can get Presteico out of here, they go back, they will face another freshman out of the bullpen for Stanford, knowing that Presteico is the most senior of the pitching staff.
Ground ball left side. Nice play over at third by Barry for out number 2. She's been a couple nice defensive plays. Yeah,
impressive over there on the hot corner, but recognize where she was playing that ball. She was back behind third base, knowing that there was a big stick at the plate. So the second hop almost took advantage of her, but she kept it in front. Nice little throw across the dish to get the second advantage.
Tyrena Jones now at the plate. Watches ball 1. Two hits already for her 13th multi-hit game of the season, a single and a double. This is off the end of the bat into kind of no man's land, but a nice running grab by Perez. Duke plates a pair, and we go back and forth in this 4th inning. 5 combined runs scored. It's 5-4 Blue Devils over the Cardinal.
Hey, sports fans, the ESPN app has all of ESPN all in one place. Visit activate.espn.com to see if you have ESPN Unlimited as part of your TV package for no additional cost. It's all of ESPN all in one place. Sign up or activate now.
Well, as expected so far, close one in game one as we look at what Stanford did in the first 3 innings, just 4 hits, 1 run. 4th inning, though, 3 runs on 3 hits. Everybody came to the plate. So Ava Gall, who led off that inning with a walk, will lead off here in the 5th as well.
So being able to get to Curd, bring in Bradshaw has helped them as they've been able to execute against a new pitcher here in the, she started in the 4th, but Curd just gave up those walks and started losing her composure around the zone, and Stanford able to take advantage, got to the bullpen for Duke.
Bradshaw steps off for a moment to regather herself in a 2-0 count here against Gall. This is upstairs 3-0. How did you as a player kind of get into the grind of the season? We're in the middle of it right now. We're about just beyond the halfway point in the regular season. How did you keep it fresh when you were at Arizona?
I think this part of the year is where it starts to really feel like a grind, because you've got your routine, go to class, go to practice, or get on a bus, get on a plane, whatever it is. And the travel can be difficult, and with the expansion of the ACC, Stanford, this is their last road series out of California through the end of the year.
This play by Vega for out number 1.
And I think that will help them, knowing that classes right now are in break because they finished their finals on the quarter system right before this road trip. And so they right now are playing maybe a little bit more fresh than normal, but a nice play by Vega with the angle back to get the second hop again. Just very mature second baseman. Ton of experience over there. Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC back in 2024. I think to your point though, Chucky, to be able to handle all of your business and still stay strong on the field is really tough this time of year, because classes can be a grind, the travel can be a grind, and when you play in this kind of conference, every single weekend is a difficult weekend.
First pitch strike to Joey Economides, who has a couple hits, one of them a solo home run, the other a single, and she didn't score, but the pinch runner who came in for her last inning scored. 0-1 catches the outside corner, strike 2. Mentioned it for Stanford, won't leave the state of California after this weekend until the ACC tournament. 18 games will remain for them after they complete this 3-game series, and 12 of them they'll play at the new renovated Stanford softball stadium. The other 6 all bus trips too, so they don't have to get on a plane until the postseason.
One of the coaches we talked to that's most happy about that is their pitching coach, Danielle O'Toole Trejo. She says, I have not seen my little boy, who is 2 years old, in 9 days, and that's hard for a mama.
2-2. There's Danielle. A little less stressed when this part of the line, when this part of the game is ongoing. Pitchers in the dugout safely. I say that with Pristaico standing on deck ready to hit.
Yeah, that's one of the things that she talked about as well, was Pristaico, when she has to hit, it makes her so nervous, because she actually went down for a slide in their game against East Carolina in their midweek, and she was so worried something would happen because she was going in head first.
Economides walks, and here comes Pristaico to the plate. Not wearing bubble wrap, as her pitching coach might wish she was. Danielle showed us a picture, actually, of Pristaico sliding into third base, and you could see Danielle in the dugout with her hands over her face because she was sliding in head first. Into left field. Cut off by Thomas, which is a very important glove to keep the runners at first and second.
Pristaico says, I've got a lot of good examples in my dugout of pitchers who can hit, so let me show you how I do this. That right there was a ball left way too big, and she capitalized on a really nice swing, driving it into left, and I don't know that there's enough bubble wrap for Coach Trejo over there in the dugout for what she now has to watch run the bases.
Low for ball 1 to Sophia Jin. Tying run at second base. might have our third lead change in an inning and a half. This is feeling more like basketball. I feel like trends in basketball. There's been 6 lead changes. That's where we're headed, the way this game is going.
I mean, we are in March Madness, right?
That's right.
Duke women play later tonight. Sorry, as well as Duke men. Basketball tradition runs deep here.
I know this is my first trip to Durham, so I was just telling people I gotta drive over by Cameron Indoor and pay my respects at least. 2 on Jin, fouls that off, 2 and 2. The women play LSU at 10 Eastern. That is a late tip for the local folks trying to watch that game.
Well, especially the ones that were trying to come here, watch this, and then just stay up and watch. Now you've got time for a nap. I mean, with the 1:30 start, it makes it a little bit different. And to your point, now we're seeing the sun back behind clouds, but it's starting to come out during this at bat. And so maybe I need to give Jin, who is at the plate, a little bit of grace. Maybe it did transition during the pitch or during the at bat, and she didn't have time to put the glasses on. But
I wasn't entirely making it up.
no, you aren't. And look, so sun was out less than 30 seconds ago. Now it's behind a cloud.
Ground ball right side, scooped up by Vega. 2 outs. The runners do both advance into scoring position.
Well, it's a heads-up play, knowing that her shortstop was going to third to cover. And so with her shortstop vacating, there was no play at second base. So Vega took advantage of that, just gets the nice, easy out at first.
Marissa Young comes out of the Duke dugout. See, they're going to make a pitching change here with Stanford's best hitter coming to the plate in the form of their leadoff, Taryn Kern. Mallory Wheeler, the sophomore right-hander from Jensen Beach, Florida, is the one who will get the ball.
Duke has a new pitcher, number 16, Mallory Wheeler.
Got the win in game 1 over Georgia Tech in relief last weekend. 7 innings, 6 hits, 6 earned, 4 walks, and 6 Ks. This is her 17th appearance of the season, second on the team with 5 wins this year.
Well, she started the year with a complete game win over Buffalo, but has been used more so as a reliever like we see here today. She was the ace for Louisiana last season, through just under 140 innings last year. Her strikeout to walk ratio is not where it needs to be. And so with that, she's gonna need to come in and keep the ball down in the zone. She uses that drop, it's her go-to pitch. She can confidently throw up in the zone, but is vulnerable for the home run. So that mix of speeds just keeps hitters off balance, and she needs to focus on her spin and not worry about throwing with a ton of velocity so that she does not miss the ball moving through the air.
Duke lacrosse highlights next Saturday's matchups right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. The 6th-ranked men host Virginia here in Durham at noon. And then at 4, the 17th-ranked women hosting number 5 Syracuse. Couple good ones and a busy day for the folks in our control room here, who we appreciate so much.
Oh, look, he's trying to find it on the app.
He is. He's bookmarking it, yeah.
That's a lot of pine needles.
That looks like an allergy waiting to happen for me, sitting under a pine tree. I don't think so.
I don't know. It might be the only place you can avoid the pollen here. When we left our hotel today, every car looked like a shade of yellow with how much pollen had settled in overnight.
First pitch out of the bullpen, outside for Wheeler.
And you just look the way that Rodriguez is setting up behind the plate. They are not even going to mess with Kern with first base open.
He has a hit in 14 of the last 15 games. That includes today, outside again. And not your traditional intentional walk, but it does appear to be what you're saying. They're going to put Taryn Kern on first base.
And my hope in this situation right here is that she doesn't get used to throwing the ball off the plate, because then sitting with bases loaded, there is no room for error in her next at bat.
Would you have had Bradshaw walk Kern and then make the change?
Luckily, I don't have to make that decision. But maybe with control being an issue, This is the way that they felt most comfortable to be able to load the bases and try to get out of this jam.
Bases loaded for Mailer. Popped up. Shallow right center. Tough spot in a long run, but it's made by Vega. A great over-the-shoulder catch to keep Duke in front.
Vega retreating, waiting for her outfielders to call her off. She looks, can't find them. She comes away with the last out of the inning.
In the top of the fifth, Stanford scores no runs on one.
Here's how we got here so far. Duke's 3 of their 5 runs came from the first 3 batters in the bottom of the first inning. An Oakland 3-run shot put them up 3-0, but back and forth we've gone here in the 4th with 5 runs combined. Cardinal, the big number for them, 10 left on base in this game. They've certainly had their chances. Maybe both teams feeling like they've left a few out there on the base paths too many.
And I would say they definitely have. I mean, Stanford knew coming in that being able to execute with runners in scoring position was something that they needed to get better at. But when you talk to Coach Allister, she said trying harder is making it worse. So finding a way to just play a little bit more relaxed is what Stanford needs to do to be able to push more runs around.
I said we could not be trying any harder right now.
But execution with a bases loaded, 2 outs, River Mailer at the plate. She's a potent bat, and another missed opportunity for Stanford. When you just watch a pitcher throw 4 intentional balls to walk the bases loaded, maybe swinging at the first pitch isn't the best choice.
This is driven to right center field and bounces off the wall for Lamar. Into second base with a leadoff double here in the 5th off Prostyko.
It's time for the double bubble gum toss.
And when we started the season, Coach Marissa Young was a little bit more apprehensive to speak highly for Lamar, to knowing that it's her daughter, right? She didn't want to be that coach that sang the praises of her daughter. But talking to her before this series, a lot more relaxed because of the way Layla Lamar has been able to be such an impactful member of this team and put up some really good numbers for them this year.
One-0 count to Kyrie Rodriguez. There's all smiles from Mom when Layla is standing on second base with a leadoff double. Certainly an interesting dynamic. We see it in all sports. You've done it with your daughter. What are your tips?
I don't know if there are any tips. Keep your mouth shut more often than not and hope that your other coaches will step in. But we had a rule in our house that we didn't talk about the game away from the field unless it was initiated by the player, because I wanted to make sure that I kept that relationship solid.
Bunt is down. Job done from Rodriguez to move Lamar into scoring position. Little insurance potentially here in the 5th.
And just being able to execute and move a runner is so important, especially here at the bottom of the lineup. And Rodriguez is not necessarily in the lineup to be a big hitter. She's here because of her expertise back behind the dish.
Mercy Young gonna bring in a pinch hitter, Gabriella Shattuck, true freshman from New Jersey. 12 hits on the year, 3 of them are home runs. She's driven in 14.
Duke has a pinch hitter. She's number 14, Gabby Shattuck.
Coming off the bench late in the game with the chance to put runs on the board is an elite level skill to have stayed invested during the game to understand the trends and what a pitcher is doing. So hard to be able to come in and be productive, but we've seen great long ball production out of Shattuck this season.
Aaliyah Terrell, senior from Greensboro, North Carolina, will run over third base for Lamar as well. A couple changes for Duke with 1 away.
This is a little different look for Marissa Young. We've not seen her use her bench like this, like we've seen her use this season in years past. But she says, I've got so many tools on the bench, I just want to use them. So I would anticipate that we'll see some defensive changes coming soon too.
Into center, is it deep enough? The throw is coming home and online, but not in time. Terrell's speed beats the throw, and it's a 2-run lead for Duke.
Brings in Terrell for run
And that's the execution you're looking for off of the bench. That ball didn't need to leave the yard to be a successful AB. That is a quality at bat to be able to push this ball deep enough and allow Terrell to come home for a nice little run across the board for Duke.
That's just textbook softball. We got a sac bunt and a sac fly right after. It's a play to run.
You're right. Get them on, get them over, get them in. And it looks so easy. You're like, why can't we do that all the time? But when you face pitchers like Pristaico, and on the other side right now they're facing, they've faced a bunch of arms for Stanford, but Pristaico is difficult to execute off of.
Into left field, right down the line, caught out there by Perez for out number 3. That'll do it for the 5th. Duke plates another 6-4 Blue Devils over Stanford.
1 run on 1 hit, no errors, no runners were left on base. We have played 5. Your score, Duke 6, Stanford 4. Your Duke softball team will
game win streak. That team for Lonnie Alameda is so talented. Duke somewhat kind of feels quietly at 8-1 in the conference, and then Virginia off to a great start as well.
I think you nailed it. Duke has quietly sat in that 2 spot. They are so good right now. Florida State, that 18-game win streak. That same number, 18, was the number of at-bats their shortstop, Isa Torres. 18 successful at-bats in a row. I mean, she's been so good this year, and in her senior campaign, excited to see the way that the senior lights things up for Florida State as they sit at the top of the standings in the ACC.
Lonnie Alameda just always has such a great feel for her team. Kind of what they need.
I think you nailed it. That's exactly what Lonnie Alameda has. That's like a hidden gift, is just a feel. And these coaches understand the rhythm and timing of teams and the heartbeat of what makes them tick. But Lonnie Alameda just takes it to the next level. I think a big part of that is because she has to use her pitching staff in such unique ways. And that emerged back in like 2018. And this pitch just misses. It's a beautiful spot, and it's held back behind the dish, doesn't get the call. Well, and when that pitch doesn't get called, why are you swinging at that one? I think being able to understand what zone is being called back behind the plate is so important, because you've got to play to the strengths of what's being called behind the dish. And right now, that inside corner wasn't called early in this at-bat, so that didn't need to be a swing. It could have pushed the count to 3-1.
Down and away, 3-2. Kira Chan, the leadoff here in the 6th for Stanford. 3-4-5 in the order. Big chance here with just 2 trips to the plate remaining for the Cardinal. Off the handle over to Vega. 1 away.
And that's just pitch placement. We're not seeing a lot of wiggle out of the hand of Wheeler. She's hitting spots, not with a ton of movement, but being able to jam up a hitter like Chan is so impressive because of the way that Jessica Allister said she might be the best player in the NCAA that doesn't get talked about.
Ball 1 outside to Jade Berry, who has been hit by a pitch and who has walked, which delivered an RBI in the 4th inning. On 1.
Keeping the ball down so important, because with the ball down in the zone, it makes it really difficult to lift and elevate and get this ball out of the ballpark.
Both of these teams a year ago, in somewhat heartbreaking fashion, they both had 42 wins. They both fell just short of supers. Stanford lost to Oregon in Eugene on a walk-off home run in Game 7 of that regional, and then Duke fell just short of their 4th consecutive super regional. They lost to Georgia in Game 7 in 8 innings as well.
Well, in that loss at regionals, Coach Marissa Young said has been a fuel for them this year. They went to the Women's College World Series for the first time ever in 2024. And then this last year, could not get out of regionals. So the bar has been set high for this Duke program. And last year, they knew that they fell short of what they expect now here for this program each year.
Duke was kind of the story in 2024 too, because they were right on the outside of being able to host a super. If I'm not mistaken, I think they were the 9 seed, so they hosted regionals, but they had to go on the road to Missouri and win in 3 games to go to their first ever Women's College World Series. Very impressive inning for Mallory Wheeler in her first full inning of work, and Duke leads it 6-4 going to the bottom of the 6th. 6-4, Duke leads Stanford. Had a little back and forth there in the fourth and fifth innings. So runners left on base should stand out specifically for Stanford. 10 runners left on. Duke has left 6. And they have a chance to extend their lead here before the Cardinal get their final opportunity in the top of the 7th. For Duke, it is the top of their order. Jennings, Vega, Oakland coming up here for the Blue Devils against Prestico.
And only once has Stanford been able to sit down this top of the lineup without allowing runs to score. So an important part of the lineup for Duke to capitalize on and Stanford to keep quiet.
Good spot from Prestico for strike 2. 2 2/3, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, and a couple strikeouts for the sophomore Zoe Prestico. Bounces that in outside, ball 1.
And knowing that timing is such an important part of every at-bat, Jennings has leaned into swinging away. Early in her career, we saw her just as a tap-and-go kind of player, but now swings away.
Into left, foul ball.
And with those big swings, a lot of that comes down to how to change her footwork to be most effective, because the timing of a slap and the timing of swing away are much different. So Jennings is one of those hitters that has a very active front foot in her swing. Multiple taps, multiple steps, just to try to keep her momentum and timing in her swing.
She did go, they say. Strikeout for Prestico for out number 1.
And that call by Amaris Addison down the line.
Second baseman, number 17.
She definitely broke the plane of the plate. Nice call by the umpire down the line. She thought she held up, but no chance.
It's good eyes there from our umpire. Kind of a rare out for the top 3 in this order, too, because they are now 5 for 9 with 5 runs scored. This one into center, and Vega is retired as well.
Well, and this is the kind of outing that Stanford needed. Look at that deep breath. I mean, she knows the part of the lineup that is up right now and how hard it is to attack and stay focused pitch to pitch. But to keep the top of the lineup quiet is really important.
Mercy Young is having a conversation with the home plate umpire, Craig Hyde. Not sure what the question is.
Shortstop, number 9, Jessica Oakland.
Jessica Oakland is at the plate. 2 outs, nobody on. Ball 1. You're talking about Deanna Jennings and the changes to her swing. Did you ever have anything in your career where you changed something from stance or anything timing-wise that was kind of a big change for you?
I had to get out of my head. I think thinking too much is a big part of success. And if you're one of those players that needs to be unconscious and competent, you got to find ways to just quiet the noise of what's going on around you. Luckily, we didn't have social media to impact that as well. But being able to find ways to keep yourself focused is so important, because if you are chasing, it gets worse. You've got to find ways to be disciplined at the plate.
Swing and a miss from Oakland, 2-2. Could give Stanford a little momentum with a 1-2-3 inning of the Blue Devils' top 3 in their order. Into right field, this should do it. Chan handles it, and Stanford heads to the 7th. One final opportunity, trailing by 2. It's 6-7-8 due up for the Cardinal.
6, Duke scores no runs and no hits. No errors, no runners were left on base. We have played 6 innings of softball. Your score is
6-4, Duke trying to hang on for a series opening win. Our young viewers also very locked in. Our old viewers less locked in.
Leading off, top of the 7-4.
Joey Economides is due up second for Stanford. She has homered in this game and has reached all 3 times she's come to the plate. But first, it is the catcher, Ava Gall. Into shallow left field, Terrell, who entered in left field last inning, makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out for Mallory Wheeler in the circle.
The ball will always find you. It's like the softball gods know that you've entered the game. So Terrell had to get on her horse to come in and get that one, but a nice little first out.
Here is Economides with 1 away. Takes strike 1 outside. Outside, ball 1. Two and 1.
And that's a great take. That is not a strike. It is down below the knees. Great discipline to lay off of that one. So important to have discipline late in the game when you're trying to inch back and get the win.
Outside, and I mentioned earlier, Economides in the last 5 games leading into this series, 1 for 14. Her hit was a solo home run in game 1 against North Carolina last weekend. Now she did it again this weekend with a solo home run in game 1 against Duke, but also as a single and has walked in this game and now has walked again. 4 times Economides has reached.
This is an impressive turnaround for Economides to be able to step back, and it just shows you the ebbs and flows of the game. You are going to have moments when you can't hit, you can't find your way on base, and when you do start to allow the floodgates to open, you've got to be consistent at the plate, and she's been able to do so here in this game, in this opener.
Stanford now turns to their pitcher, Zoe Presteico, who is 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. Trying to help her own cause here in the 7th. 0-2. Too far outside.
But a really nice job by Wheeler to try to extend off the plate, get the swing and miss. Had some good movement, some good glove side run on that pitch outside.
Protecting from Presteico there on the 1-2 pitch. Very close on the outside corner.
Duke has some questions. I mean, that is where she's been able to paint that corner, but no call.
Presteico won't test it again. That was a similar spot. She said, let me just tap this one foul.
Yeah, that's showing a little bit better plate coverage on that one. I think that the one before was too close to let go. She got lucky that it didn't get called.
Wheeler's 2-2. That is too far outside. And a great AB here from Presteico to work the count full. Another foul ball from Presteico.
And she's just taking that part of the plate and trying to get enough movement to get that ball to move off the plate, but Prstyko making sure she does not get rung up on that pitch on the outside part of the plate. I think she's vulnerable if she can change her location and change up where she throws this ball on the plate. It's definitely going to help her out, but if she continues to live there, Prstyko can just swing and spoil it.
So you say go somewhere else with this?
I would go down in under the hands, challenge her up on the inside corner.
Duke has not struck out a batter today. They have walked 6. 3-2 again. Outside, fouled again. Well, the hitter's perspective is of an at-bat like this. What is going through your mind as this extends to the 10th pitch? Do you gain confidence from it?
I would anticipate that the ball would be in a different zone, but Wheeler continues to just go right back to down and out. It is her bread and butter.
3-2. Up the middle and down. Jennings thought about taking a chance. Instead decides to just keep it in front, and now the tying run is on first base.
And as an outfielder, that is a difficult play to make because you're supposed to take your first step back, but with that, it prevented Jennings from being able to run that one down and get a catch. So for her, it's about making sure that she kept that ball in front. So it wasn't maybe the most pretty play out there in center, but definitely got the job done, and she knows as a center fielder there's no help straight behind her, so she had to keep that ball in front no matter how it looked.
Jordana King will run at second base.
Number 23, Jordana King. Also a pinch hitter, number 5, Izzy Kakadian.
They will also bring a new hitter to the plate as well in Izzy Kakatian, a freshman from Torrance, California, who is hitting .281 on the season with 9 hits, 1 home run, 6 RBIs.
And he's 32 ABs, has 3 walks on the year, 1 home run. They're hoping that she hits number 2 here.
King at second. Prstyko at first, and Kakatian at the plate. One out. First pitch swinging, foul ball.
We talked about this during the game. Coming off the bench is a very elite skill to be able to come in and do it with success. And so you know that Kakatian has had to sit and get ready and wait for this opportunity here, but she better be prepared with what Wheeler has been throwing.
Down the third baseline, steps on third, the throw to first, double play. Tyrena Jones closes the door on game 1.
Your final score, Duke 6.
And Kakatian came on, put a ton of barrel on that one, but down the line, Tyrena Jones was ready for it. Great reflexes to just step on third and deliver a beautiful throw all the way across to first base to Stafford. I mean, that's a heads-up play. Definitely not how Stanford wrote it up, but a beautiful, beautiful play by their third baseman. Wheeler loved it.
Excellent job from Mallory Wheeler out of the bullpen. 1 2/3, just 1 hit allowed and a pair of walks. I should say 2 full innings of work for Wheeler and no runs. Game 1 belongs to the Blue Devils. 6-4, they win it. Thanks to a couple big innings, starting with 3 in the first, 2 in the fourth, and they added some insurance in the 5th. Their 23rd win of the season. Win number 600 for Jessica Allister. We'll have to wait at least 1 more day. Game 2 tomorrow night. We'll have it for you on ACC Network. For Jenny Dalton-Hill and our entire crew, I'm Chucky Kemp. We will see you tomorrow.